founder of the 1099 Ladies, so I'm delighted to have you here. And I'm excited about what Carleen and I have prepared for you. I think you're going to find real value in it. Definitely Carleen's anyway. Kidding. No. Let me see. Wendy is the host. And so I think what we're going to do is try to break out into two different rooms, one main room and another room. And she'll move one of the speakers over there. And then about halfway through, she'll switch the two speakers. So this way you'll get comfortable in the room that you're in with the people you've already heard through the whole time, and relationships we find can form when you've had a time to be in a room with people instead of everybody having to move around. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And
so how much time are we giving each of you?
I prepared for 20 minutes. Carleen, what did you prepare for?
20 minutes is fine.
Okay. And then we'll come back together for a little question and answering. And we're probably going to end this earlier than previous Lunch and Learns, because previous Lunch and Learns, hey, Hannah, were 3 speakers. So I always loved it when I was in school and I said, class is getting out early. Everyone said, yay.
Yay.
So I hope you're having that feeling right now and not disappointed that we're not going to blah, blah, blah a little bit longer. So I'm just joking. Do we want to, what do we want to do, Wendy? Do we want to do like a couple of quick elevator speeches so everybody can know who's on the call? Or do we want to switch gears right away? Or what's your gut instinct on this? You're the grand poobah today.
I think if we could keep it really short to maybe everybody introducing themselves with their name and their name of their business probably would be sufficient.
All right, so like 20 seconds kind of a deal, right?
See if you can do it in the 10-second. Those who have come to the 1099 Ladies Apex chapter when we talked about the 10-second.
I'm not going to go because you'll have plenty of time to hear all about me in my presentation. So go ahead, Wendy, call on the names.
So I'll go first, just so you know who I am. I'm Wendy Russell, and I'm with your Chaos Coordinator. And I help small business owners who are feeling very overwhelmed by bringing standard operating procedures to their day-to-day basic business type things. So I'm going to pass the torch over to, I'll do Anna.
Yay. Everybody loves Anna.
Is she muted?
She's muted.
Annie, you have to unmute.
I have to, wait. Can I unmute her?
I think you can ask her to unmute herself.
Sorry, did y'all call on me? I'm having internet issues.
Yes, sorry.
Okay. I thought it was, but I didn't want to jump in just in case. So good morning or afternoon, I guess it is. Anna Florence Crawford. I am an independent beauty consultant with Mary Kay. This month I celebrate 23 years in business. And one thing that sets me apart
is their internet.
It's her internet.
You my age, but you know that I'm over 18, so you know that's been a little while. But love what I do and love helping women look and feel their best.
Great.
Thanks, Anna. We'll go ahead and go with Katie.
Good afternoon, ladies. I'm Katie with Outside the Box Solutions. I'm a digital marketing person. I'm also out along the coast. So I am 15 miles from the ocean, and I try very hard not to go there every day. If I can help with any of your marketing questions, let me know.
Thanks, Katie. Sandy, do you want to go next?
Sure. I'm always available to talk. Sandy Wheeler, I'm from the Raleigh area. I teach beginning sewing lessons and camps to kids and adults. I've also added back piano lessons. I am a retired teacher, and I am not capable of teaching at the high school level anymore. I just don't know what to do there. So Sandy Wheeler, my business is called nimblefingersewing.com.
Cool, thank you. Let's go with Lori.
Hey, good morning, afternoon, I think, ladies. This is my first meeting. I met Lyndah yesterday. We had a lovely chat. I really enjoyed it. Look forward to more. And nice to see you all. I'm glad I could squeeze this in today. I'm a licensed clinical social worker for the past 30 years. I've been in mental health as a therapist and as a director. And currently I'm in a startup process for a wellness center. And so I'm looking to meet people and talk to people. And it looks like, Lyndah, you sent me a ton of emails and I will get through them as soon as I get through this day today. But again, my name is Lori Say, and I'm glad to be here.
Well, we're thrilled to have you.
Thank you.
And how about Katherine Bell? Are you in a place where you can?
Yes, I am.
Cool.
I'm actually sitting. I'm glad you called me. Hi, everybody. My name is Katherine Bell. I am CEO of Martin County Firearms Academy. I specialize in teaching women how to protect themselves with both lethal and non-lethal means. Thank you.
Thanks, Katherine. And I have Ashley.
Good afternoon. I'm Ashley. I'm a loan originator with Union Home Mortgage, and I help home buyers, especially first-time home buyers, take the stress out of purchasing a home. Good to see you all.
Thanks, Ashley. Demi.
You have
I
to
can't hear
unmute
you.
them.
Oh, hi. I'm
Hi.
Demi Goldman. I have a Facebook page called Cooks with Scissors. I cook with scissors to help take the anxiety out of cooking with knives. And I'm able to do this because I'm a trained chef. And so, Demi Goldman.
Thanks,
Yay.
Demi. And then I have somebody who's on a cell phone, but no name. It says Galaxy on it. Are you?
That would probably be me, Sharon Mixon. First time I've tried to join, so I'm completely new to all this.
Okay,
Welcome.
that's fine. Well, welcome.
I have just starting my getting back into the world of work after a stay-at-home mom. I have a peaceful pup where I bring puppies into my house at 8 weeks until 5 months old and work on their socialization. And I've been a dog trainer for 20 years. Of course, I took a hiatus to have some kids, but getting back into it.
Okay, well, welcome.
Thank you.
And Gaia, are you in a place to unmute yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Gaia. I run the Magnet Lady, which is an alternative medicine practice. I'm in Chapel Hill. I'm new to the area, moved here in February originally from California, but lived in Florida for 21 years.
Welcome. And Brianna.
Hello, everyone. So yes, my name is Brianna with Primerica, helping frustrated and uneducated young adults get their financial house in order. Thank you.
I like that.
Nice.
And Chrissy.
Hi, ladies. I am the owner of Holistic Restoration, and I help business women understand the body, mind, spirit connection and how it affects your bottom line. So you can show up more consistently, deal with life and business in a more balanced way, reduce overwhelm, and increase your results. Glad to be here.
Great. Okay, so our two presenters today are Lyndah Tello and Carleen Lamay, and I guess I'm going to send them into a breakout room, one of them.
Yeah.
Just one of you, and then, so I'm doing this manually, correct?
Correct.
All right, here we go. And I need to assign room one I'm going to send Carleen on a trip. All right, and so we're going to talk for 20 minutes on the presentation, and then I'll bring everybody back, and then I'll do it again, right?
No, all you need to do is bring Carleen back and send me over there.
I don't know. We'll see how well that works.
It's much easier than moving everybody.
Okay, here we go. I tried that and it, so everybody's not assigned.
You have to assign them over.
Everybody.
No, just half the crowd and Carleen.
I don't
Who's
think it's
gone, by the way.
just Carleen. I gotta assign somebody.
Just don't assign me. All right, it looks good, right?
Okay, I think we got it.
All right, so I'm going to go to share screen. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Lyndah Tello. I am a financial representative with Primerica. So that means I have a securities license. That's a license to buy and sell investment vehicles like stocks or mutual funds, EFTs, annuities, and other financial things to help people reach their goals. This is common for people who have this license. Here's what's not common. Teaching people how to be better stewards with their money. And a lot of times when people think they're drowning in debt and the first inclination is, I need to get a second job. I need to get another job where I make more money. And those things may be true, but another solution that you could do immediately that doesn't require interviewing or going out of the house for a second job is to look at what you're currently doing. Take a look at what you're doing with the resources that you have right now. I know everyone has heard that term, I am enough. And a lot of times we think that is speaking specifically to your character and your self-worth, but it can also be true about your bank account. So one of the things I do commonly with people who work with me is something called a financial pulse. And so let me describe what that is. I ask them to print out the most recent 2 bank statements, and they have 3 highlighters. Green is for absolutes, your mortgage, your electric bill, water, things you absolutely cannot live without. Those things get highlighted green. Next is yellow. These are quality of life things. So for example, Netflix. Going through a pandemic without Netflix would have a serious impact on the quality of your life. So maybe we don't 86 Netflix, that falls into the yellow category. And then pink would be for full-on luxuries. A new set of golf clubs, for example, or that gorgeous Coach purse that you might have had your eye on. So all these things are fine. I'm not judging any of those choices. All I'm saying is sometimes having a visual snapshot of what you're doing will help you self-correct before you even have to meet with somebody like me. You'll look at it and say, oh, wow, we really went overboard on something. And next month, we're going to do much better because we're going to be more careful with whatever it is. And for each family, it's a different thing. There's a common misunderstanding that the average family can't become financially independent, that we're all just holding on to debt. We all walk around with a certain amount of debt on our credit cards, car payments. We go into Best Buy and we don't say, how much is the TV? We say, how much is the monthly payment? We're kind of like programmed this way. And I want to talk to you about that today. Because, let's see if this will work. Yay, you can get out of debt, you can build savings, and you can get on the path of financial independence. And the first thing you should do or can do is be a better steward with what you've already been entrusted with. So I have a list of things to help you take control. And this is not the whole list. This is kind of a list of the most common. I've seen some odd things. I'm not going to bring all those things up because I have to stay inside 20 minutes. But the world is a big place and people are very diverse and you have no idea the proclivities of your fellow man. All right, so here's the first couple I came up with, which I already started with, which is taking the financial pulse. The second thing that I have people look at right out the gate is look at anything you're subscribed to. When is the last time you used that product or service? Let's take a hard look at those subscriptions. If you haven't used that service, a common one is the beginning of the year, everybody signs up for a gym, and about now you look at it and say, I haven't been there in 90 days. So if you really have a goal of getting healthier, there are lots of free options at your fingertips. Maybe you don't need that gym membership, for example. The next one is cable. And I know that that is a little bit of a hot button whenever I bring it up to families, because they think, oh, we're stuck inside. Cable is what keeps us together. But instead of cable, you know, you can buy an antenna from Walmart for about 20 bucks. It will give you all the local channels for free. And then maybe you just want to do a Roku stick or Prime or Netflix for the movies. So you can go from over $100 a month to $10 a month if you're interested in really reining in your expenses. This still meets your solution, although it's not as fabulous as cable. And you know, if you have Prime, you can still add HBO onto Prime for $15 a month. That's still cheaper than having the whole cable bill. So take a good look at your television situation, because I think there are lots of creative ways to meet that need and not spend a ton of money. I literally meet people with cable bills in excess of $200. So if that's you, again, no judgment, just take a look at other possible ways to meet the need that are considerably less. The next one on the list here is your cell phone service. So a lot of us love to get the latest and greatest phone, and we go in there and we just, you know, sign another 2-year contract, get another phone. Oh, it's an upgrade. And but really what you're doing is financing that phone. And that's a very expensive option. If you're willing to have just the generation back and buy a used phone and then get a prepaid plan, you can have unlimited service for 40 bucks a month. Most people I meet pay at least twice that, sometimes 3 times that. So take a look at your cell phone service. In preparing for this, I want to tell you something funny. I did a search on, because I was going to put a list of cell phone services up here that aren't, you know, Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile, not the ones everybody knows, just to tell you all kinds of things out there. Do you know there's a cell phone service called Tello, like my last name? I just thought that was hilarious. And they have a plan that's $10 a month. But anyway, I just thought that was so funny. So I think we Google search everything else. Doing a Google search to see if you can lower your cell phone bill is quite educational. And the other thing I want to tell you is it's quite possible you might be eligible for a senior citizen discount. Now, before you get offended, T-Mobile starts their senior citizen discount at 55. Oh my God, am eligible for this discount. I remember when the guy told me, I said, I don't want that discount. I want the young, sexy, beautiful woman discount. And he said, ma'am, we don't have one of those. It was kind of funny. Anyway, they don't put the discount on if you don't ask for it. I just got it because I was starting the plan. I was changing providers, and that's how come I became aware of it. So it's my sister who had T-Mobile, who's 56, didn't have that discount on her phone, and she was going to make a call because I was prepping, doing practice presentations, and she was the one who said, oh, I don't have that discount. And in any event, internet is right there in the same sort of bucket as the two before it. There's a constant flux of companies coming into town, taking over territories, buying contracts. A Google search today could be very different than even just 6 months ago. Why don't you take a look at what your options are? The other thing I want to tell you is you can call that company and ask for a discount. The worst thing they can say is no. But what if they say yes? $1 in your pocket is better than $1 in their pocket. And what's a phone call? So I highly recommend you advocating for yourself. Okay, next big bullet on my list here is transportation. So the first thing I want to say is I'm sure everyone has noticed that interest rates have tanked. Why not take advantage of it and refinance your car and get a better, keep the same car, just pay less month every month. Wouldn't that be nice? The other option is for you to consider trading it in and getting a car that does better on gas, because look what just happened. So that would be a bonus. But also you would be driving around for less money every month. Don't get a car you hate, of course, but get something that meets your needs that costs you less. If you're trying to rein in the debt. And then home and auto insurance review. I recommend that you go to a broker because their loyalty is to their customers. They can shop you all over the country. Whereas when you go to an agent, the agent is being paid by the company they represent and inherently may not be able to offer you the best possible price because they can only offer you the price their employer lets them offer. Whereas the broker can look across, lots of companies and shop you around. Okay, so here is the next thing that is quite remarkable. If you take the time to make a meal plan, make a list of everything you need for that meal plan, you shop the list. You buy less things, you're prepared for all your meals, you're less tempted to eat out when you're tired because you can factor in some quick, easy meals on this meal plan, and you're more likely to stay on your diet. This is definitely a really great thing to do. I also would include my family in on it, like, oh, what should I make this week? And, oh, can you make this and can you make that? And that made for less arguments at the dinner table because they weighed in on the choices. So it's not like, oh, I hate this. Why did you make this kind of a conversation? It's, oh, you made this. I love this kind of a conversation. Big improvement in the family table dinner time or absence of arguments. Okay. Number 9 is an absolute favorite of mine, and you'll never guess why. So buy used versus new. We'll start off with things like furniture, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. But the reason why it's my favorite is because I use the services of Heidi. This is a shameless plug, I know it. We go to consignment shops. This came from a consignment shop. I got this beautiful blazer for $4. A lot of times when I buy stuff with her, it still has the original tags on it. And beautiful things that I would never be able to buy. So my closet is filled with Calvin Klein and all these gorgeous designer clothes, all for pennies on a dollar. Her tagline is, you don't have to spend $1 million to look like $1 million. But whether you use her or not, why don't you take an afternoon and go to a consignment shop and see for yourself when you need an outfit, especially if you're going to a wedding or something where you're going to spend money on that outfit. Definitely take a lap around town and check out the consignment shops to see if you can get that gorgeous dress for way less. I'm somebody that loves to do a lot of home improvements. You might be somebody who likes your boyfriend or husband to do a lot of home improvements. One of the things that people do is buy expensive tools to do this project. But did you know that Home Depot and Lowe's rent expensive tools? So you just rent the tool for the day or the weekend, and then you give it back. So for instance, when I was putting up a fence, I did not buy an auger. I went and rented an auger, and then I brought it back because now I don't have to store that stupid thing. How many fences am I going to put up in my lifetime? Come on. So it's totally worth, when you're pricing out your project, instead of buying the tool, to consider renting the tool. This is another favorite of mine. I'm actually on an email list, and when I follow up with you from this presentation, I'm going to be sending you the link so that you can sign up for it too. Every day I get free things to do in Raleigh, and it talks about all the different vendors who are doing free events. And I'm actually going to think about reaching out to them to put the 1099 Ladies Networking on some of those free events, just to widen our exposure. But there's kid-free things, there's adult-free things, there's free beer sampling, wine sampling, all kinds of stuff, free yoga classes, out in the park, socially distanced, responsible things. So instead of spending a ton of money on entertainment, this could be a commitment. Oh, for the next 6 months, we're not going to spend money on entertainment. We're going to look for free things to do. And all the money you used to spend could be used to throw at your bills to bail yourself out of jail, for example. Okay, number 12 is declutter. You can either donate and get a tax write-off, or you can consign and make some money. But then in the end, your space is decluttered, which is also a wonderful thing. So to me, this is a win-win solution. All right. I'm gonna do 14 and then 13 because I should have switched it around when I made this presentation. There's a website called bankrate.com. And I recommend you consider switching banks for your savings because these internet banks that don't have brick and mortar buildings are able to give very alluring interest rates because their overhead is much lower. So what if you, not for your checking, because I know you've got things auto debited and all that set up, and that would be a big headache, but your savings account, wouldn't it be nice to just get a nicer interest rate? So it's just something to consider. Now, pay your savings account like a bill is, I call this pay yourself first. Let me explain what I want you to do. You know how when you set up your bills every month, you know, your mortgage and such, I want you to pay your savings account the way you pay your bills, a set amount. I want you to do this for two reasons. One, this creates an emergency account. So when the dishwasher breaks down or, you know, a window breaks because the kids threw a ball, when unexpected things happen, you have a resource to reach for instead of your credit card. And you don't have to be afraid to use it because you already have this auto system of replenishing it every month in place. So if you have to dig into it, it's okay. Just a matter of time before it'll be right back because every month you're paying into it anyway. And so this saves a lot of people. I think a lot of credit card debt is emergency situations being handled with a credit card. Whereas if you created your own emergency fund, you would be setting yourself up for success before the emergency ever even happened. Okay. I recommend 3 types of account: an emergency fund, which is the one I just referenced, short-term savings. This can be for, we want to replace this car. Let's start planning on it. Let's build up a resource. Let's build up a resource for a down payment. So when we go to meet with Ashley, we say, we have the closing costs, you know, and then long-term savings, which is something you do with me. And that's another conversation. It's just part of the slide. So we're just going to move right along because I really want to stick to my topic. Okay, this last one is a really good one. Avoiding buyer's remorse. So a lot of times we see something and we think, ooh, right? This has definitely happened to me on more than one occasion. I advocate that you wait 24 hours before any large purchase. I know that doesn't apply to buying a house because then the house will be gone, but anything besides a house. So you take that 24 hours to look up other sources to buy that thing. You look at the reviews to make sure that you know you're making a fully informed, educated choice, and you look for any kind of rebate or coupon that might be available. This could be anything from like a new refrigerator that you happen to be in the store and it looks like it's on sale. It doesn't matter. It's better because what happens is when we do impulsive things like that, we end up having buyer's remorse. We end up, you know, realizing, oh, we could have gone here or we should have done that. And, oh, we didn't look at the reviews. Everybody complained about this and we didn't know that when we made the purchase. So many people say these things to me. So this whole 24-hour idea is really a good idea because you avoid a lot of disappointment. This is the most common one. I don't know why I left it for the last because it probably should have been at the top of the list, but drink coffee or eat out for pleasure, not convenience. So if I'm meeting Chrissy for a cup of coffee, I'm totally getting a cup of coffee and I'm going to enjoy my time with her. But if I'm running late to a meeting, going through a drive-through, that's a way money just slips through your fingers. Same thing for eating out. So I recommend you drive around with a cup of coffee, you know, in your cup holder, a bottle of water, and I don't recommend the plastic, I recommend the metal refillable, but that's another conversation, and a healthy snack, a protein bar, an apple, to keep you away from the drive-through habit that a lot of us are in. This, I'm telling you, I can't tell you how much money people let slip through their fingers when we do the highlighting on the bank statement thing. This is one of the most common things people say, oh my God, I didn't realize how much money, you know, I spent doing that because I wasn't organized. Looking for reward programs that make sense for your family. So for example, if you or your spouse have to travel for work, getting a card that rewards you for travel because your company is going to reimburse you for that travel so you can zero out the card, but then you get to keep the rewards. is an example that I can think of off the top of my head, but every family has different things that they do all the time. So looking for rewards that correlate with your normal patterns, not ones that lure you outside of your normal patterns, which is their purpose, by the way. You want to just have everything aligned for your good. So if there's something that you're doing consistently, and then there's a card or a program that will reward you for that, that's something you want to sign up for. If you never travel, but you want to travel, don't get the travel reward credit card, because you're not going to use it enough to really get the benefit. And there's probably a higher interest rate associated with that. So then when you use it a different way, it's like you're getting stung. All right. And then there's daily items list. These are a bunch of little things like using LED light bulbs instead of the incandescent. And I didn't want to go on with all these. So I'm going to, again, with my follow-up, have those in there for you to review. You can just kind of go through your home and see if any of those things are things that you can implement in your house that will help you save money. What's next? So I think the big thing here is time and consistency is really the most important, because if you do something once, it doesn't have the same value. If over time you're consistently doing something like paying that savings account, like waiting the 24 hours or shopping in a consignment shop, that's going to add up to much more. Each thing in itself is not really that big of a thing, but together, a combination of these things could really have an impact on your budget. And I just want you to consider that, you know, you do have enough in your bank account if you just did things differently. So now I'd like to kind of open this up. I'm going to stop sharing for any questions. We have to show you that slide, sorry. There we go. About the things I presented. And by the way, one of the things I didn't say, and I forgot to say, and I apologize. One of the things I do as a financial advisor, I have this cutting edge tool where you can bring your bank statement and I can put everything in there, and it can create a pie chart and show you and it helps say, oh, you should be spending based on your income. This is how much you should be spending on housing. Here's what you can do. And it shows you kind of like what's suggested for housing, for transportation, for all the different things that you're doing. And it creates like a budget for you. And then you can look to where you can rein something in when you're out of alignment. And there's no charge for this service. The whole idea behind this is that if I emancipate you from debt, that when you have loose money and you're ready to invest, that you would consider me. That's my idea about doing this. So this doesn't cost you anything. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Now I'm ready for questions. Please unmute yourself and let the talking begin. Does anybody have any questions at all? Oh my goodness. Well, I will tell you, Catherine's on this call. Looks like she's not facing the screen, but I helped her with this. And 18 months later, she was completely out of debt. And it's part of the reason why she's on this call, even though she's not looking in the screen. And I'm so happy to help her. So is there anyone here struggling with a financial concern, even outside of this presentation, that you'd like to ask me about?
I actually am in a unique situation. Well, not unique. I am going through divorce.
Okay.
And
I'm divorced. Come on in. The water's fine.
Yeah, that's good to know. Good to know. So we haven't separated anything yet. Well, besides he bought a house and he's living in it, but he's paying the bills here. And, you know, soon we need to sit down with the mediator and the different things, you know, I was a stay-at-home mom, so there's going to be alimony and some of the 401k that he was paying into, but of course I didn't have any of that. Do you have any advice as far as, you know, I'm assuming I might get a chunk of money, I don't know, or I might just end up with him not, or me not having to pay him out his half of the equity in this house and all that good stuff. But
so first of all, let's definitely have a conversation outside of this meeting, because I have so many things to say in response to what you just said that we would take 2 hours, and I don't want to do that to everyone else on the call. I myself have gone through this situation, and I've helped other people when they're at a crossroads like this. And I have a lot of really good advice to give you. Let's make a time to talk about that. I can definitely help you in multiple of ways. So let's definitely talk outside of this call. I want to help you.
Okay. And the best way for me to contact you directly?
So when you registered for this, did you have to put in your email?
Yes.
I will, as soon as we hang up, I will be sending out an email, and then I'll send a separate one specifically to you. It'll have my
Okay.
calendar link on there, and you can pick a day and time that works for you.
Excellent. And I know my name probably doesn't come up on the screen. I'm Sharon, and it's dog trainer Sharon at Gmail.
Okay. Okay. That's great.
Lyndah, that's actually something that I've heard you mention before, is how many women that are married aren't looking at making their own investments because husbands have the 401k already. So I think that's just a perfect example of how, for anyone who's listening to the call, or if you know anybody to refer Lyndah's way that is married, oh, but he's got the 401k, that's a perfect example as to why to get your own stuff set up.
Yeah, 100%. Yes. A lot of times we think these are just attributes of being an employee somewhere, but these are accounts that we can set up for ourselves. And yes, they will be smaller than the guys because they make more money, but doing something is better than doing nothing. Right?
Absolutely.
But, we're not dead. We can still start today. There's still time.
Well, and that's kind of where I'm at. I have, just like $5,000 at Fidelity, and I have my dad's inheritance that's at Buttonwood, but I don't know what to do with them. Should I be investing? Should I be playing in the stock market? Should I be, I'm not contributing to them because I don't have the employer contributing to them. So
Right,
yeah, that's part of my questions. Thank you.
Yeah. And yes, the IRS actually does matching for people in your situation. So I don't know if you know that. And I really can't wait to talk to you. You're going to be very happy after you speak to me. So
Lyndah, I'm gonna switch rooms in about a minute.
Thanks,
Okay.
Lyndah.
I'll follow up with everybody. Thank you for your time. Hi, Carleen.
Thanks, Lyndah.
Thank you.
I can't wait to watch the recording and see your presentation, Carleen. All right. When can you switch me over?
Hold on.
You can do it.
No, I did something. I gotta redo it. So hold on. All right. Everybody's gonna come back, I think.
Oh.
And then I'm gonna have to switch you out. And I gotta wait 43 seconds.
Yeah. I don't know why you couldn't just move me over.
I'm not sure either.
It's okay. It's not the end of the world.
It's not letting me.
Was I supposed to switch rooms too?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I just clicked it and I was like, I guess I'm going somewhere new. Awesome.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard Lyndah yet.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely coming into your room.
We got 14 seconds and then I can move people around. It's not.
Oh, technology.
I know.
And it's funny, we actually met before this meeting and practiced and it didn't do
Yeah,
it.
but the issue is that it's people. Okay. All right.
Like
Everybody's back. So now I have to
much
reassign.
fun.
All right. Actually. Hold on. Let's see what it's doing now. Oh, wait. What is it doing? No. All right. We're going to one. I don't. Oh, it's so confusing. It's not. It's going back to all the rooms again. It's not doing what. Everybody come back.
Oh, I can't do it because I'm a participant. Never mind.
Okay, so all of these people were in room 1, right?
Right. So just create room 1 and then just move the people over.
It's room 1 is still there.
So just move people into it.
It won't let me. All right, I just got rid of room 1. All right, here we go. So I gotta take, this person, this person, this person, this person.
So thank you for your patience, everybody. And we're going to be posting the meme that we used to promote this. And what I'd like you to do is share that meme with your favorite takeaway to help extend Carleen and our reach, that maybe we could meet people that we wouldn't have met otherwise, people you know that we don't know, kind of a thing. That's what we're asking you to do, is kind of like a thank you.
All right, where's Lyndah at? Oh,
right here.
All right.
Okay.
I think you should go.
I'm going.
Okay.
Actually, Brianna, Katie, and Anna were in with me the first time. So
I know. I
and
gotta
Sandy.
get them out. I gotta get them out. Okay, I think we got everybody. Demi, yeah, I think. I have everybody who is assigned to, this was my group.
Sandy was in with the first one, I think. Okay, so Chrissy should be here with me. Okay, that looks better.
Oh, Sandy should be in room 2.
Mm-hmm. She was in with me the first time.
Chrissy and I went and visited Lyndah again, and then we just to come back to you, Carleen.
Well, thank you.
Okay, I'm not sure. I can't do anything with Sandy.
It
won't let me assign to her. I can't do anything with her.
Okay. Do you want to go ahead and have me get started?
Go ahead and get started, because I can't move her around as far as that goes.
There she is right there. Do you want to go? Okay.
Sandy, you may want to leave this room and go to Lyndah's room.
That's what I did. I was in Lyndah's room and I had to hit leave. I had a choice, leave meeting or leave breakout room. And when I did that, it brought me over here. So I think I'm in the right place now.
Yeah.
Okay, she's gone. Okay.
Okay.
Well, hi, everyone. I am Carleen Lamay with C2 Accounting and Business Support. I've met some of you, I think, so far, but I'm glad I got to hear all of your introductions. And I am going to be doing, talking about profit from a business standpoint and how you can increase your profitability by controlling your expenses. And I am definitely a PowerPoint girl, so I will be sharing my PowerPoint. I've learned that when you're talking about finances, it's not everyone finds it interesting, so having visuals definitely help. Okay, so we're going to talk about profit today, and my company is C2 Accounting and Business Support. We're a management accounting firm, and I help small business owners take control of their business finances and help them feel more secure, have more time and more peace of mind. So we're going to make money grow on trees today. Not really, but I love this graphic because most of us have seen this graphic, you know, where you have these stacks of money growing and there's these little trees, and it's like, would it be not wonderful if all of our profit, all of our revenue just kind of went in that straight trajectory? But it doesn't quite work that way. But we can do some things to help ourselves become more profitable. But we're going to ask the question first, what is profit? And typically, when you ask an accountant like myself, I'll tell you, look at it, you know, profit and loss statement or income statement is going to be your sales or your revenue minus your expenses equal profit. That's kind of like a textbook definition of profitability. But we all know as small business owners, it doesn't feel like it's just that simple. We have the revenue coming in, and then we have all of our expenses in this like silo or funnel, and then what ekes out at the bottom this profitability. And it's kind of like, well, where did the money go? Like, I know I made sales this month. I've been working my butt off, but I just don't see kind of the fruits of my labor. And we end up looking like this. We're sitting in front of the computer. We're stressed out. We're just trying to figure out how to make this all work. We want to be entrepreneurs. We want to work for ourselves, but it seems like sometimes it just doesn't work. So today we're going to talk about tips to increase profit by controlling your expenses. Now, I will say that none of this is really my idea. I'm definitely stealing most of this from a book called Profit First, and the author's name is Mike Michalowicz. Has anyone here heard of Profit First or read the book or is familiar with the concept at all? Wendy, you are. Okay, awesome. So this will be a repeat for you. If you've not read Profit First, I definitely highly recommend it. He also has a few other books. He has podcasts, and he's a really interesting speaker. So check out his name again, Mike Michalowicz. And actually, Wendy, hopefully we'll get the names of everyone who's here today. And I'm actually going to give away an e-copy of this book today to whoever was here.
Oh, yeah, we have everybody's email. They had to register in order to get in.
Perfect. So here are some of the tips. There are going to be 5 tips, and bear with me because some of them going to seem a little off, but again, there's a method to all this madness. So tip number 1 is going to be change the formula. So we're not going to talk about sales minus expenses equal profit. We're going to say sales minus profit equal expenses. And that gets to the gist of controlling your expenses so that you can have more profit. By changing that, just by doing that one little shift in how you think, it helps you to kind of just increase the ability to be more profitable. And tip number 2 is going to be using smaller plates. And by plates, I kind of mean like envelopes. If anyone here has ever used the envelope budgeting system, you have your $100 paycheck and you kind of divvy out how I'm going to make that $100 last. It's kind of the same concept. According to Profit First book, you're going to open up several bank accounts, and you're going to have an income account, a profit account, an owner's compensation, a tax account, and an operating account. And if you notice, the profit account and is also a separate owner's compensation account. Owner's compensation is what you pay yourself to work in your business. You would have to pay someone else to work in your business if you hire someone. So this is what you're going to pay yourself. And profit is the extra and above. It's the benefits of working, of owning your business. If you were Walmart and Walmart pays their employees, they pay the rent for all the stores, then they have dividends. So think of your profit as your dividend that you're paying yourself quarterly, monthly, however, whatever period you set for yourself. You're going to use it for things like vacations or things like that. Tip number 3 is going to be follow the process. And by the process, I mean the Profit First process is a really good foundation. You don't have to adhere to it very strictly, but I think it's a very good foundation of kind of changing that mindset of profitability. And the process is 1, all of your money is going to go into your income account. And that's just, you have 5 accounts, but you're not having money go into all 5. It all goes into this one account. And then twice a month, you divvy out that money to the other 4 accounts based on these percentages that's in the book. I won't go into the percentages, but the book will explain that. And then all of your expenses and your costs come from that one operating account. And what that allows you to do, it allows you to have more clarity over your money and more clarity of what you're spending, especially with your expenses. Because right now, for most of us, everything is this one bank account and you really can't see what's going on. You can't see the forest for the trees. There's just so much going on around you. And by divvying things up and by using these smaller plates and following the process, it allows you to have this more bird's eye view. So you can kind of really see what's going on in your business financially. And in turn, it'll help you make better financial decisions. And once you've done those steps, now you come to the fun part, which is analyzing. And by analyzing, it's not very complicated. I just mean look at things with a more close eye. So tip number 4 is going to be analyzing your production costs. And production costs just means whatever it costs for you to either make the product that you sell or to produce the service that you sell. So it could be materials, it could be employees, subcontractors. It could be if you're renting, if you sell a food product and you have to rent a commercial kitchen, that will be part of that cost that it takes just to do whatever it is that you do. And the reason you want to look at that first is because your prices may not be high enough. So if you've gone through this, you set up these systems and you're starting to do this analysis and you see, I sell XYZ product for $80 and then it turns out it cost me $70 to make. Well, is that $10 profit really enough? And it could be, before you even talk about reducing expenses, you might want to take a look at increasing your prices. And a lot of times, especially female business owners, we don't always charge what we're worth. We have these weird conversations around price and around money, the whole money mindset, which Chrissy can definitely attest to. I just think that having this ability to understand that I have to charge this much at least to become profitable because it's costing me this much to make my service. And then tip number 5 is going to be to analyze your expenses. And this is where you really have a lot of control because, figuring out how much are you spending to actually run your business, like the other stuff, like, your email accounts and social media, any kind of like software that you're spending. But then look at fluff, and fluff for things that you're spending that don't actually move the business forward. It could be that shiny object syndrome where, I am a sucker for software and apps. I love trying the newest, the latest, the greatest. And so I end up buying things or subscribing to things that seem cool at the time, but they're not really useful to my business and it becomes fluff. So what can you do to reduce that fluff? What can you do to eliminate costs? And that's, if you look at that reversing that formula we talked about, that's how you're going to become more profitable, is having this deep dive on looking at analyzing your expenses. And so when you change the formula, you change your mindset, you do the analysis, you make sure your costs are high enough, and then you reduce your expenses by any way that you can. I mean, you would be surprised at how much more you're bringing into your business, how much more you're bringing home and you're living off of. So you're not sitting in front of the computer at the end of the month trying to figure out where did the money go. You have a much better control over where the money went. Someone in the previous group, said that they read this book 2 years ago. And it made a huge difference in their business because it helped them to get through COVID, the downturn, because they had a good control over their finances. So I think, hopefully we'll never go through, this past year ever again, but we just don't know what the future holds. And if you want your business to have longevity and to survive the inevitable ups and downs that are going to come, having these really good financial systems in place is going to help. And I think Profit First is a really good one because it takes away a lot of that accounting jargon and allows you to kind of look at things on a more of a cash basis. And it's put in words that I think anyone can understand, whether you have an accounting background or not. Because at the end of the day, the profit, that extra, that dividend that you're going to pay yourself is going to fund the life that you want to live. It could be, living on the beach or visiting the beach on a regular basis. It could be, travel. It could be eating your way through the Mediterranean, like someone recently told me. For me, it's going to Italy, for a year. Things like that. That's how you're going to fund that lifestyle, is by taking those dividends out of your business. But you have to make sure that you know that you can safely pull them out while covering everything else. So I want to recap those 5 tips on increasing profit by controlling your expenses. Tip number 1 was going to be to change the formula, flipping it from sales minus expenses equal profit to sales minus profit equal expenses. Tip number 2 is using the smaller plates, or you can think of it as the envelope system. Tip number 3 is following the process, and the process being Profit First for something very similar. Tip number 4, analyzing your production costs, whatever it costs for you to make your product or sell your service. And then tip number 5 is analyzing those expenses and figuring out where or how you can cut expenses. Someone asked me in the last session what I consider a fluff, and that helped me come up with a better clarified answer here, the things that aren't moving your business forward. And she asked, what about something like BNI? Can BNI eventually become fluff? And I thought about it because I am a BNI member and I've only done it for a year and I'm up for renewal. So this is a great thing for me to think about. Do I want to spend the $495 for my next year? And the question is it going to benefit me? Is it actually moving the business forward? And then it's not just about the actual cost, it's also the time cost involved. So when you're looking at expenditures, don't just look at always the financial, but also your time. So for me, driving a half an hour to a meeting, once we go back into in person, having an hour and a half, and then driving back another half an hour, so that's what, 3 hours, 2.5 hours out of my day. Is it worth the time for me to do that on top of the costs involved? So looking at how you can do things that's going to move your business forward. And I mentioned earlier that I am giving away a copy of this ebook to whoever. I'll just randomly draw a name, and hopefully it will bless someone and help them move their business forward. And then now we have some section for Q&A. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And hopefully this was helpful. But do I have any questions, comments, concerns, announcements, whatever you want to talk about, I'm all ears.
Do you have a document or a standard form that you use in order to kind of track your expenses, or look at the whole sales thing too? Is there something generic that you use or something specific?
Accounting software. So you know that's going to be my answer. QuickBooks. QuickBooks is zero. Those are the two accounting software that I prefer. That's having. So think about this. If you have this information in your bank accounts and credit card statements and everywhere else, and then you're going to spend hours manually transferring all this stuff to a document every month versus having it connected to accounting software, it's automatically pulling things down. You just categorize and now you can run reports. Having that accounting system is going to just save you a ridiculous amount of time to be able to figure out what your expenses are. And then one report that I love that I can pull from accounting software is called percentage of income. So I think a lot of people here know what a profit and loss statement looks like. It has all of your, like I said, sales up top and then all the expenses. Well, it'll put percentages, it does the calculations for you. So you can see how each line item, each expense item is a percentage of that, of your revenue. So if you have something that's 30% of revenue and it's not moving your business forward, that might be an area where you might want to cut things out. So it helps you to kind of definitely take a look at that. And then with accounting software, you can do trends. You can see, okay, maybe I was doing really great last year and then things got out of whack. And now I want to compare it to this year. I need to make some more changes. So that's probably a good answer to your question. And of course, you have to know that money mindset to make sure you're charging. I see Chrissy smiling, so she's a perfect person to talk about that.
I thought it was great information, Carleen. I like the switch around and looking at it kind of like in reverse fashion.
Just changing it up just a little bit, it's a little bit different. And then hopefully with people looking at those production costs, it takes away that emotional part of price setting, because now you don't have to guess or you don't have to feel like you're not asking for enough. You know exactly what it costs you to make your product or sell your service, and then you can charge appropriately.
Is there a benefit for the accounting or a difference on the accounting if you're an LLC versus a corporation?
So no, when it comes to the managing of your, there's a difference in taxes, but accounting in bookkeeping, which is a matter of just having all that information in the system, there's no difference. Everyone has income, everyone has expenses and costs associated with whatever they do.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely a difference when it comes to taxes, but not with the accounting part. And it's never too soon to put that in place. So, you know, as soon as you're opening your business, taking the time to have an accounting system in place is important. And it can definitely grow with you. It's sometimes harder to go back at the end than it is to just do it up front.
Okay.
So that was short and sweet. And for me, it's like, it didn't have to be too complicated, or just very like, okay, just kind of change the way you think and make a few little tweaks. And I can make this PowerPoint available if anyone wanted to copy as well.
Yeah, I think Lynda's going to do a send out afterwards. So I don't know if you want to attach it as a PDF or something
Okay.
to that email, or if she's going to give you access to the system as far as that goes.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? Because if not, I can switch us back into.
I do have a question. I have kind of been inadvertently doing this for a while. I started my dog training business. I automatically got a business checking account, and everything I make always goes into the checking account, and then I transfer the money into my personal. I guess my question is, do I let my business checking account like rate, you know, I feel like there's, I guess, no reason to have a huge amount of money in the business checking account. I should just distribute everything every month. Is there a reason to have my profits stay in that account?
So no, if you read the book, Profit First, he talks about profit being, you know, because just like with dividends, you're paying those out typically on a quarterly basis, which again is different than your owner's compensation. It's different than what you're paying yourself to work in your business. You should pay yourself, everyone should be paying themselves something from their business from the very beginning. And then making sure you're putting something away for taxes based on your tax situation, and then making sure you have profit. In your case, your question was you have everything going into a business account and you're immediately transferring everything over to your personal account. But my question would be, where do your expenses come out of? Are you actually taking those expenses out of your business account, and how are you managing that part of the business? How are you tracking or keeping track of your expenses, your business related expenses?
Yeah, if it's a business related expense, I use my business checking account. So at the end of the year, I can just have all those in a separate place. But obviously I'm taking all the money and putting it into my, like 90% of the money into my personal account and paying the bills with it.
Right. So yeah, in your case, you're taking what you consider your owner's compensation. You're taking 90% of the money and you're just considering all owner's compensation. I'm assuming you must have very low overhead, so you don't have to worry about as much, but you still want to make sure that you're putting away for taxes so that you are looking at those percentages and having a separate way of tracking and having money put aside throughout the year so that you're not paying a huge tax bill in the year and not having the money to cover it.
That is very good advice. Yes, that's what I need to be doing right now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So Carleen, you spoke during the presentation. So they were talking about, was it 5 or 6 different accounts?
That's like 5. I think it starts off with about 5 accounts.
Yeah, the income account, the profit account, the owner's compensation, the tax, and the operating. Right. So would you do that all at like one bank, or would you do that at separate type places? Like, do they all have to be business accounts?
Yeah, they should all be business accounts. You don't have to do them all at one bank. Some could be savings. In the book, if you're prone to temptation to taking money out of your tax account ahead of time, he suggests you putting it, in a bank that you don't have access to with a debit card or something like that. If you want that, some people just don't want, they want to have this physical separation of I can't touch my profit until later, then he suggests using a separate account. I don't use a separate bank account, a separate bank. All of my accounts were at one, but the book gives you the reasons why you could move it to other different types of banks. And right now, savings accounts aren't really paying anything, so I don't know if it's worth having it in a savings account, but you can put your profit or your tax money away in a savings account to earn some interest.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, well then I guess I will close the rooms down and we'll join the other groups in a minute. It gives us a minute. Or you can leave on your own.
Now, if we hit the leave button, will that take us?
That'll take you back to the main room.
Oh, I thought we were in the main room. Okay.
Oh, wait, no. it'll bring, no, you don't want to hit leave. We're in the main room. You're right.
Okay. Okay,
Sorry.
glad I asked.
You're muted, Lyndah.
I said I finished with 55 seconds to spare. I thought the first time I had more minutes than the second time. Oh, well.
Well, I was doing it based on Carleen's presentation. She was.
Well, of course. Then why would anybody do anything different than that? I love
All
Carleen.
right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording at this point, and we can have just open discussion or do whatever you need to do, Lyndah.
Okay. Waiting to see the recording light stop. I'll